Part 6. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 51. This is crazy, could it be that Queen Jingju faked her corpse? Fat Wang said tremblingly. Will Queen Jingju smile like a man? Hu Ba glared at the fat man. That's right, the voice seems a bit rough, the fat man was a little embarrassed. Everyone ignored him and kept their eyes fixed on the front, to be precise, Queen Jingju's coffin. After the laughter appeared, everyone seemed to hear a dull crash again. Boom. Boom. Bang bang. The sound was rhythmic, dull, and powerful, as if something was knocking on the coffin. Let me tell you, the old lady is knocking on the coffin. Why don't you run away and wait? The fat man was extremely anxious on the side. Don't worry, something seems wrong. Sumu waved his hand to the fat man to be quiet. He just vaguely heard someone talking and murmuring, and was about to concentrate his ears and listen carefully. However, at this moment, a black figure suddenly fell into view outside the coffin. Since this person had his back to everyone, it was impossible to see clearly what he looked like. But how could Sumu not know that this was his father-in-law? Shirley Yang also recognized his father, and her whole body trembled immediately. Dad, Dad! Shirley Yang's exclamation voice echoed in the empty ghost cave space. Hu Ba and others were stunned for a moment, but before they could react, Yang's father seemed to hear his daughter's cry and turned around. What a Lao Yang, Professor Chen exclaimed in surprise, but the next second he frowned. Because Father Yang in front of him was so embarrassed and even miserable. His hair was messy, and his face was dripping with blood. What exactly is going on? Shirley Yang was anxious and angry at the moment. She subconsciously wanted to step forward and pull her father over. But Sumu pulled her back suddenly. Don't go. My father seems to be bewitched by the corpse-scented konjac. Sumu shouted in a deep voice, if you just go through like this, not only will you not be able to save your father, you will even end up with yourself. But I couldn't just watch my father suffer there. Shirley Yang's beautiful big eyes were already filled with tears. Boom. Boom. The rhythmic knocking sound sounded again. Father Yang once again began to hit his head against the coffin next to him, unaware that he was already dripping with blood. Every time he hit his head, there would be new wounds and new blood flow out. If you continue like this and ignore it, you will bleed to death sooner or later. Suddenly, Father Yang stopped hitting. He turned to look at Shirley Yang, the corners of his mouth were slightly raised, his eyes were evil, and his smile was scary. Shirley, come here. Shirley. Father Yang's voice sounded, not like a human voice, but like a wandering ghost calling them, full of confusion. Everyone's hair stood on end at that time. This corpse-scented konjac was so scary, it could actually kill people. Controlled to this extent. Shirley Yang struggled to get over. But Sumu tried his best to control her. You can't go past this. This is all corpse fragrance konjac controlling my father. Don't be fooled. Sumu hugged Shirley Yang tightly and asked her to stay calm as much as possible. But what should we do now, husband? Find a way to save him quickly, hurry up. With her loved ones in front of her, even a strong person like Shirley Yang couldn't bear this kind of torture. Shirley Yang cried and begged Sumu. At this moment, she had already burst into tears. She finally saw her father. If she couldn't save him, how could she live alone? Sumu felt distressed, gritted her teeth and said, I'll try. As he said that, he let go of Shirley Yang. But the latter suddenly pulled him back. No. It's too dangerous. Let me go. Obviously, Shirley Yang was also afraid of losing Sumu. Sumu felt warm in her heart, shook her head and said, that is my father-in-law, and I am your husband. Where can I let you go? Husband. Shirley Yang choked with sobs, and at this moment she was moved to tears. Sumu was about to go over. As a result, at this moment, Father Yang stood up again and walked towards the cliff. Father Yang turned around and stared at Sumu. As long as Sumu took one step, he would move closer to the cliff. Sumu retreated, and so did he. Sumu had no choice but to retreat. It seems that as long as we get close, he will jump off the cliff. Professor Chen frowned and sighed. This is going to be very difficult. Bang bang. Father Yang once again resumed the head-butting action just now. This time, even Sumu was helpless. The situation in front of him was far beyond his expectation. He remembered that in the original work, Hubei and the others met. Wasn't he so evil when he was a corpse-scented konjac? Why did everything change when he came here? Just when everyone didn't know what to do, Ding Sishan suddenly spoke. I have an idea. Tomb Raider, marry Shirley young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 52. Just when everyone didn't know what to do, Ding Sishan suddenly spoke. I have an idea. Any solution? Everyone's eyes lit up. Shirley Yang seemed to have grasped a life-saving straw and said, what can you do, Xiao Ding, what can you do? Just use a whip. Ding Sishan said and took out a long whip from the backpack behind her. After I tie him up later, you can help me. This whip is about 10 meters long, slender and tough, and is dark brown in color. It was something she often used when she was on the grassland. There were often whip swinging competitions on the grassland, and Ding Sishan won with this whip. Several times champion. Is this okay? Fat Wang asked. Your words definitely won't work, but I can, Ding Sishan said confidently. As she spoke, she stepped forward, swung the whip hard, and drew a perfect arc in the air. The whip seemed to be in Ding Sishan's hand. As if he had life, he whizzed and flew towards Shirley Yang's father. Sumu's eyes lit up. He didn't expect that Xiao Ding, who looked at Wen and was weak, could actually have such a hand. He saw Ding Sishan twisting her waist like that. Pull. The next second, the end of the whip wrapped around Shirley Yang's father's waist. Ding Sishan's eyes narrowed, and then she yanked back. The whip tightened a little and leaned against it. The friction force is even more entangled. Quick, help me. Ding Sishan shouted, and everyone hurriedly stepped forward to help her pull the end of the whip and pulled it up with all their strength. There is a show. Everyone was happy when they saw Father Yang being dragged little by little. However, it seems too early to be happy. Just when Yang's father was dragged more than half the distance by them, corpse fragrance konjac also started to move. I saw something like a tongue sticking out of the closed flower of corpse fragrant amorphophallus. It was directly aimed at Father Yang's waist and was tightly tied up. Holy shit, this corpse-scented konjac can actually move. Has it become a spirit? Fatty Wang said in horror. Everyone, please work harder to ensure that corpse fragrance konjac is not successful. Hubei commanded. However, no matter how hard everyone tried, they could not make a breakthrough from the corpse-scented konjac. Sumu felt that he could not waste any more time. He knew the horror of the corpse-scented konjac. There is also a hallucinogenic effect that has not been activated. Now the corpse-scented konjac is still in a closed state, and its hallucinogenic ability has not been fully exerted. Once it fully opens its flower, everyone will fall for it. Then, Sumu stepped forward suddenly. However, at almost the same moment, the zombie-scented konjac puff made a loud noise. Like the air pressure deflating, the closed corpse-scented konjac actually opened. Almost at that moment, Sumu felt a very strong smell coming. Damn it! It's the floral scent of corpse-scented konjac. Be careful, everyone, cover your mouth and nose, this stuff has hallucinogenic effects. When Sumu opened his mouth to remind the people behind him, he forgot that he was the one who bore the brunt. The rich corpse-scented konjac pollen instantly enveloped Sumyu. It followed his mouth and nose and penetrated into his body. Sumyu groaned, and instantly felt that his vision began to blur, and his head became heavier and heavier. Damn it! Why is this corpse-scented konjac so powerful? Am I going to fall here today? Just when Sumyu was thinking wildly, a hot feeling suddenly came from his back, and then rushed all over his body. It was the ancestral dragon tattoo. In just an instant, all the negative effects of corpse-scented konjac on Sumyu were eliminated. Sumyu's heart yuxi. I didn't expect that the bloodline of Zilong would have such a magical effect and be able to resist the illusion of corpse-scented konjac. At this moment, Shirley Yang and others behind him were not surprised to be attacked by corpse-scented konjac. However, Sumyu had already he couldn't care about that much anymore. Keep moving forward. He took a few steps to Father Yang's side, took out the Swiss Army knife from his waist, and slashed directly at the red gag wrapped around Father Yang's waist. Go down. Click. The Swiss Army knife was extremely sharp and easily cut off the mouthpart of the corpse-scented konjac. A lot of red juice flowed from it and dripped to the ground. I don't know if it was an illusion. Sumyu seemed to be able to feel it. This corpse-scented konjac even suffered a moment of pain when its mouthparts were cut off. Damn, am I delusional after staying in the tomb for too long? Sumyu shook his head and continued to cut the corpse-scented corpse in front of him with a Swiss Army knife. Konjac. At this time, a mechanical and cold system prompt sounded. Ding, if you find the attribute light group dropped by corpse fragrance konjac, will you automatically receive it? Oh. Corpse-scented konjac can also drop attribute light balls. Sumyu was a little surprised. This was the first time he picked up attributes from a plant. What attribute would it be? Without hesitation, Sumyu immediately ordered the system. Pick up. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 53. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the spiritual charm attribute add 5 of corpse-scented konjac. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the spiritual charm attribute add 5 of corpse-scented konjac. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the spiritual charm attribute add 5 of corpse-scented konjac. A series of system prompts sounded, and Sumyu gained a large number of so-called spiritual charm attributes. Charm attribute? What is this? System, don't tell me that I can also cause hallucinations. Sumyu asked in disbelief. However, the system did not answer. The next second, the prompt sounded again. Ding, congratulations to the host for collecting the spiritual charm attribute to the full value and meeting the skill generation conditions. Do you want to fuse to generate the skill? Has the attribute collection reached full value? Meet the conditions for skill generation? The system actually has this hidden function, and Sumyu is extremely satisfied. I don't know if it will really produce the incredible spiritual charm ability of corpse-scented konjac. Sumyu was looking forward to it, and then he couldn't wait to give the order. Fusion. Ding, start merging. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the mental primary passive skill, mental immunity. Mental immunity? This is a bit tasteless. After all, his ancestral dragon tattoo can help him resist the hallucination of corpse-scented konjac. Isn't this the same as having it or not? Just when Sumyu was full of resentment about the system prompt sounded again. Ding, this is a primary mental passive skill, the host can improve it? Can it be improved? Sumyu's eyes lit up and he asked quickly. System, do you mean that as long as I continue to pick up spiritual attributes in the future, I can improve my skill level and gain a spiritual charm ability similar to that of corpse-scented konjac. Ding, mental charm is only an intermediate mental skill. Please correct yourself and aim further. Really? Sumyu became more and more satisfied, and he automatically ignored the second half of what the system said. It all happened in an instant. When the corpse-scented konjac could no longer provide attributes to Sumyu returned to reality. At this moment, the corpse-scented konjac was no longer threatening. Shirley Yang and others were also separated from the environment. Sumyu quickly led Father Yang and ran towards the crowd. Father Yang's body is very weak, and the blood on his head is constantly flowing. New injuries plus old injuries have created his current state. However, at this moment, an unexpected thing happened. Kaka. I saw corpse fragrance amorphophallus suddenly burst. Then, a solid gold human-shaped coffin slowly floated out from the inside. Everyone looked at the scene in front of them in stunned silence. After corpse fragrance amorphophallus spit out the coffin, then it withered. As the corpse-scented konjac withered, a flower gradually grew out of the corpse-scented konjac. This is, flower of the other shore. Hubei took a breath of cold air, and his eyes were full of shock. Two are born, two beget three, and three beget all things. When the first other shore flower bloomed in front of everyone, immediately, the second, third, and the fourth flower. In the end, countless bright red and enchanting Bianhua flowers were seen growing on the spot and spreading continuously, quickly engulfing the stone beam and everything around it, blocking the way in. Everyone crowded together in shock before they had time to react. Next second. Click. Click. Another burst of amplified sound was generated. As the sound sounded, 6 stone pillars suddenly appeared from the ground. On each stone pillar, there were carved patterns. Some were compassionate Buddhas, some were floating immortals, some were majestic emperors, or some were ferocious Shura. Or scary evil spirits, or ugly beasts. All of them were so vivid that they almost wanted to crawl out of the pictures. When all this stopped, everyone was already horrified beyond measure. Damn it! What on earth is it? What is this bana flower, what is this pillar, why is it so messy? Shocking sounds came one after another. At this moment, even Sumyu was a little confused. When did the Jingja tomb have so many weird things? Are they still hallucinating? That's not right, didn't he dispose of the corpse-scented konjac? What exactly is going on? At this moment, the only one who was slightly calm was Shirley Yang. Sumyu had already dragged Yang's father back, and Shirley Yang was taking care of Yang's father wholeheartedly, helping him wipe the blood on his head. After experiencing the ups and downs of almost parting her life and death just now, her mood is naturally at a higher level now. After looking at the flower of the other side lightly, he said it is the flower of the other side. It is said to grow at the intersection of yin and yang. It is an ominous sign, so it is also called the flower on the Yellow Spring Road. Hubei pointed at the surrounding pillars and asked subconsciously, then what is this? I don't know either. Shirley Yang was still very indifferent. At this time, Shirley Yang's father slowly opened his eyes. He took a deep breath, and seemed to feel the injury on his head, and hummed in pain. Shirley Yang and Sumyu were very surprised. Dad, are you okay? Shirley, Xiaosu, why are you two here? Father Yang said in surprise. His eyes glanced around and fell on Professor Chen again. Brother Chen, why are you here? Professor Chen comforted Yang's father and said, don't ask, we will be satisfied if we can see that you are fine. After hearing this, Father Yang seemed to have guessed something. Just when he was about to ask some more specific questions, he suddenly glanced at the 6 pillars and exclaimed. This is, the Buddhist formation. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 54. This This is, the Buddhist formation. Buddhist formation? Everyone opened their mouths in shock and stared at the 6 big pillars rather suspiciously. Does this fine lady still believe in Buddhism? Fatty Wang's eyes widened. Maybe it was just making the best use of it, or maybe the designer of this necropolis happened to choose it to guard Queen Jingjue, who ba touched his chin and expressed his speculation. I think we should leave quickly, these things are too evil, Ding Sishan said weakly. Silly girl, we are trapped inside now, how can we get out? Professor Chen pointed to the 6 large pillars that were constantly changing their positions around him, dumbfounded. I don't know what ingenious mechanism the designer used. Now they can't even move forward to approach Queen Jingjue, even retreating has become a problem. It's impossible to leave now. Father Yang stood up with some difficulty and said, and Queen Jingjue is right in front, and I don't want all the hard work for so long to go to waste. That's right. Professor Chen nodded with deep sympathy and said, yes, I have also studied the exquisite culture for most of my life. This is an excellent opportunity, and I don't want to give up, old man, who? Bai and Fatty Wang both looked at each other and suddenly smiled in relief. Even you 2 old men have the courage to try it out, how can we young people lag behind? Do you think so, Brother Su, Si Tian and Staff Officer Yang? Everyone looked at each other and smiled. Since it's neither forward nor backward, it's better to just give it a try. Since we want to go through, let's break the formation, but let me tell you in advance that I don't understand this bird Buddhism formation. Su Mu shrugged and said in a rather rogue manner. He didn't lie either. Although he had the experience of his younger brother in traversing various tombs, there were situations that even the younger brother had never encountered before, let alone him, Su Mu. The current situation is a variable and has not appeared in the original work. Moreover, judging from his father-in-law's reaction just now, he recognizes this Buddhist formation. So, Su Mu is quite shameless as the hands-off shopkeeper. You kid. Yang's father glared at his son-in-law with a dumbfounded look. Forget it, I'll do it, I do know how to crack this formation. Su Mu's eyes lit up. Sure enough, his father-in-law is still very good. After hearing this, the others also looked at Father Yang expectantly. Father Yang looked at the 6 stone pillars and explained this Buddhist formation. According to legend, it was created by Ksatagarbha Bodhisattva based on the principle of 6 paths of reincarnation. As long as this formation appears, it can trap all living beings. Damn it, is it true? So awesome, Fat Wang opened his mouth wide, quite shocked. It's just a legend, Fatty, just read it as a novel, Hubei said. Yang's father smiled slightly. Of course, in reality, this formation is not so heaven-defying, but it can still trap a few people. So how to crack it, this is what Ding Sishan is most concerned about. It's very simple, because this formation coincides with the 2 great principles of 6 paths, Bagua, and 5 elements, and the 6 paths of reincarnation are the dominant ones, so to break the formation, 6 people need to occupy the formation's eyes at the same time to be able to break it. Next, just follow my instructions. So, 6 people, Su Mu, Hubei, Wang Fatty, Shirley Yang, Professor Chen, and Ding Sishan, stepped forward one after another. Yang's father was commanding from the center, mainly because he was injured and could not move. Everyone was moving towards as they walked toward their respective formations. Suddenly, the 6 large pillars of the Buddhist formation all stopped rotating. The next second, boom boom, the ground began to shake violently, mixed with the sound of copper chains rubbing together. In the open space in front of the 6 large pillars, bronze coffins appeared one after another. Get them all, guys. Be careful, Father Yang shouted in a deep voice. Needless to say, everyone was shocked when they saw this formation. They all picked up the weapons they had handy, Swiss Army knives, exquisite long whips, lightsabers, etc. Just in case, everyone even picked up a gun and had black donkey hooves strapped to their waists. Generally, the big gun and black donkey hooves are enough to deal with the rice dumplings, but now it is the legendary Buddhist formation, and no one knows what will happen. Therefore, it is always good to be prepared. With Father Yang as the center, everyone stood back to back, facing the coffins, staring at them. The next second, all the coffins began to shake violently. Bang! 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 After a series of muffled sounds, the lid of the coffin in front of everyone was blown open. One after another, weird-shaped rice dumplings popped up inside. Even though they were prepared in their hearts, everyone couldn't help but gasp. Damn it! What kind of monster is this? Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 55. Damn it! What kind of monster is this? Everyone looked at everything in front of them in stunned silence. The same was true for Sumu. In front of him was a Zongzi with a shaved head and wearing a Buddhist cassock. With sharp eyes, he even noticed that the Zongzi had something on his chest. There is a large dark black tattoo. It looks like a burning black flame, vivid and indescribably weird. And there is a lifelike Buddha pattern carved on the coffin behind him. Not only him, but also the rest the coffins in front of the 5 people were like this. Opposite Fatty Wang, on another coffin depicting an immortal, a rice dumpling carrying a thigh-thick chain appeared. In front of Shirley Yang, a coffin depicting an emperor appeared. There was one with a long tongue and a black and white hat. Father Yang's face condensed. Sure enough, the 6 paths are dominant. These strange rice dumplings symbolize the 6 paths of reincarnation. The 6 of Sumu and Sumu were standing on the formation point mentioned by Father Yang. They were staring at the rice dumplings in front of them. Father Yang calculated that the time was up and quickly shouted, "It's time to take action." Almost at the same time, the rice dumplings symbolizing the 6 paths also discovered the auras of everyone. Black air spurted out from their mouths, and the next second, all the rice dumplings rushed towards them. Superior Hubei and Fatty Wang took the lead to rush forward and face their respective Shuradeo Zongzi and Xiandeo Zongzi respectively. The Zongzi also waved their strong hands and grabbed them. Hubei and Wang Fatty were quite flexible. He squatted down and dodged the attack. Then, Hubei took the black donkey's hoof and stuffed it into the mouth of the angry Arhat who was showing his teeth and claws. Bang! The black donkey's hoofs burned instantly. It was useless. Hubei was shocked. These special rice dumplings were not ordinary big rice dumplings at first glance. It seemed that ordinary evil suppressing things were useless. The same is true for Fatty Wang. Ta 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 ta. Both of them were experienced in many battles. They quickly picked up their machine guns and started firing. Ta 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 ta. The machine gun bullets burst out black blood flowers one after another on Zongzi's chest. The powerful explosion pushed the Zongzi away from their eyes. At the same moment, Fatty Wang and Hubei took this opportunity and quickly rushed towards retreat. Black donkey's hooves don't work, Hubei reminded others with a deep voice. Oh my god, this big rice dumpling is like a cyborg. Fatty Wang complained. Shirley, join me in coaxing kick fight. Father Yang couldn't sit still. He knew that these big rice dumplings were not ordinary. If he delayed, he would most likely be destroyed by the group. Yes. Shirley Yang's eyes narrowed, and she obviously guessed the situation. The two quickly stood together. The next second, coaxing kicks and fights. As soon as she finished speaking, Shirley Yang and Yang's father jumped up in the air almost at the same time, flipped forward, each kicked out a kick, and kicked towards the 2 nearest rice dumplings. If they were ordinary big rice dumplings, forget it. It's just these 2 big rice dumplings, but they are specially made by the ancient country. They kicked the keels of these 2 big rice dumplings, but they could only barely knock them back. At this time, Sumu also had a stern look on his face when he saw this. The few rice dumplings were too difficult to control by themselves. So, Sumu quietly pulled out the Swiss Army knife from his waist. Without hesitation, he immediately cut the palm of his hand with the Swiss Army knife and cut it. The blood is stained on it. The Kirin bloodline in the stuffy oil bottle in the stolen pen can have a great deterrent effect on evil things such as rice dumplings. In the same way, Sumu's more advanced ancestral dragon bloodline is definitely more effective than Sumu. He wiped his own blood on the blade of the saber. Then he slashed at the nearest rice dumpling. Chi! Sumu's strength was extremely strong. With the evil destroying effect of Zalong's bloodline, the saber sank directly into Zong's chest. Dark blood flowed out and spilled to the ground. Sumu's eyes lit up. It worked. Roar! Big Zongza let out a low roar, as if he was insulted, and rushed towards Sumu with all his teeth and claws. Snort! Sumu sneered, and quickly swung his knife again, directly cutting the big rice dumpling over. This time, he aimed directly at the head and neck of the big rice dumpling. Bang! The big Zongza's body covered with tattoos fell heavily to the ground, but its head rolled down into the distance like a ball. Quiet. The surroundings were deathly quiet. Everyone was stunned, even the remaining big rice dumplings were all stunned. Holy shit! Brother Su, you are so awesome. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 56. I'm smacking again. Shit, what happened? Am I dazzled? Holy shit. Brother Su, you are so awesome. At this moment, everyone was looking in the direction of Sumu with confused expressions. To be precise, it's the big rice dumpling head on the ground. This is a big rice dumpling made secretly in the ancient city. A guy who couldn't even cause much fatal damage with a machine gun and Yang's father's coaxing kick. Being killed by Sumu without a word. If it weren't for the black blood on the ground in front of them and the ferocious head, they wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. Su. Ding Sishan wanted to ask Sumu, but the rice dumpling in front of her was not vegetarian and had already attacked her again. The same goes for everyone else. Father Yang, who was still proficient in coaxing kicking, kicked away the rice dumplings in front of him. Only then did he have time to breathe and ask Sumu. Xiao Su, what did you do just now? Sumu was about to answer when a familiar system prompt suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding, I found that the rice dumplings dropped attribute points, do you want to pick them up? Ding, I found that Shirley Yang dropped attribute points. Do you want to pick them up? Ding, I found that the Buddhist Zongza dropped attribute points. Do you want to pick them up? A series of system prompts kept ringing in Sumu's mind. At the same time, many attribute light groups appeared on this land. Ding. Since there are too many attribute points dropped, whether to enable the automatic picking function. Sumu did not hesitate and accepted it without hesitation. Then, all these light groups entered his body. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Shirley Yang's mountain moving stunt, coaxing kick, which has a skill attribute add 10. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Shirley Yang's father's mountain moving stunt coaxing kick dose skill attribute add 10. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Shirley Yang's mountain moving stunt, coaxing kick, with add 10 skill attributes. Ding. Congratulations to the host, coaxing kick fight has reached the full level. Sumu was overjoyed. What is the concept of full level? This means that coaxing kick fight has reached the ultimate level. Even the partridge whistle back then couldn't possibly have a full level coaxing kick fight. I am afraid that only Master Banshan, the original creator of coaxing kick fight, has the ability to compete with him. But the surprise goes beyond that, attribute light points are still being picked up. Ding! Congratulations on getting the defense attribute of Buddhist formation Zongzi add 10. Ding! Congratulations on getting the defense attribute of Buddhist formation Zongzi add 10. Ding! Congratulations on getting the defense attribute of Buddhist formation Zongzi add 10. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a defense attribute of 900, 900/1000. What the hell is the value 1000 in these brackets? Just when Sumu was confused, the system explained. Ding, host, please keep up your efforts. If the defense attribute reaches 1000, it will meet the conditions for fusion and evolution into defense skills. Can it be fused and evolved into defensive skills? Sumu was overjoyed. He quickly remembered that when his mental attributes reached a certain level, he also gained the skill of mental defense. Obviously, there are similarities between the two. Moreover, Sumu thought of more at this moment. Maybe, other attributes will automatically upgrade and evolve into some corresponding skills when they reach a certain level. Thinking of this, Sumu became more and more excited. At this time, the system prompt tone did not come again. When Sumu's consciousness returned to reality, the outside world was only a moment away. Xiaosu, how did you just chop off the head of this rice dumpling? My father-in-law's question rang out again. Oops, don't ask this or that. Come and help quickly, I can't stand it anymore. From the other side, Professor Chen's anxious voice came. He was originally the weakest in fighting ability among everyone. Zongzi, who could resist with a gun for a period of time, was already pretty good. But he is just an old man and has not been trained. That kind of thing. It's been a long time now, how can I deal with it? Click. When all the bullets in the machine gun were exhausted, Professor Chen became anxious. Xiaosu, come on. Sumu smiled slightly when he heard this. He was thinking about collecting the remaining defensive attributes. I'm really looking forward to the new defensive skills. At this moment, it's just what he wants. Waving the blood-stained saber in his hand, Sumu arrived in front of Professor Chen in a few steps. To be precise, it was in front of the mutant rice dumpling that rushed toward Professor Chen. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 57. Giggles. The sound of the mutated rice dumpling's teeth colliding together sounded horrifying. Sumu's expression remained unchanged, and now he was in front of the rice dumpling. The Zongzi that Professor Chen faced was also covered with black tattoos, which seemed to be the 18th level of hell. Symbolizing the realm of hungry ghosts, the claws of this rice dumpling are also quite sharp. However, in front of Sumu, this is not a problem. Click. Click. Two sounds of bone cracking were heard. The sharp Swiss Army knife actually cut off Zongzi's left and right hands. So powerful. Dark blood flowed out and scattered all over the ground. The Zongzi lost its balance and fell to the ground. Roar. The mutated Zongzi struggled to stand up, but would Sumu let it succeed? Snort. Sumu sneered, and quickly swung the knife again, aiming directly at the hard neck of the mutated rice dumpling. Gilug. The mutated Zongzi failed to stand up after all, but its head rolled down far away, with black blood all over the ground. Quiet. The surroundings were deathly quiet again. They didn't see clearly how Sumu chopped down the Zongzi before. I was still puzzled and doubtful. At this moment, I almost watched without blinking. Everyone's doubts were all gone, leaving only one thought. That is, Sumu is so strong. Too strong. What a terrible future. Father Yang looked at Sumu's back with relief and nodded happily. Professor Chen, with a shocked look on his face, stood there blankly and murmured to himself, is this still a human being? Professor Chen, who is so rigorous, actually uttered such ravings at this moment, which shows how shocked Sumu was to everyone. And such a powerful Sumu also made others happy. Now, they are all saved. Brother Su, come and help me. Brother Su, husband. Except for the powerful Yang father, Shirley, and Yang, all four of them were shouting for help without any courtesy. At this time, Sumu also received a prompt from the system. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the mutant rice dumplings defense attribute add 20. The mutated rice dumpling was chopped down by Sumu, and naturally it dropped the attribute light group as he imagined. Now Sumu's defense attribute has reached 920, which is still 80 points away from the full value of 1000. And there happened to be 4 mutant rice dumplings left on the field. In this case, then. Wife. Think sweet. Old who, fatty. Sumu shouted, get out of the way and lead the rice dumplings to me. What? Luring the rice dumplings to him. Shirley, Yang and others were shocked, but when they thought of Sumu's magical scene just now. I don't know why, but a strong confidence arises spontaneously. Perhaps. Brother Su can really do that? Okay. Brother Su. Okay. Husband. Without hesitation, several people took action immediately. Soon, 3 mutant rice dumplings were led to Sumu. The 3 mutant rice dumplings came towards Sumu, but Sumu's expression remained unchanged. Huh? Why are there only 3 of them? Only. Sumu glanced quickly. Yes, there is another one at his father-in-law's place. Then he looked at Yang's father, and unfortunately the latter also looked over. The 2 eyes met, and Yang's father understood him instantly what the son-in-law thinks. Good boy. Yes. Your father-in-law, I will fulfill your wish today. Father Yang smiled cheerfully, took a few steps and came to the back of the mutated rice dumpling he was facing, and then kicked his feet and flew up. Coaxing kick fight. Boom. There was a heavy collision of flesh, and the mutated rice dumpling was kicked hard by Yang's father to Sumu's side. Just in time. Sumu's eyes lit up. He was a brave man with a high skill, and at this moment he felt proud in his heart. He felt that the power and speed in his body exploded at this moment. Chi! 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 The Swiss Army knife flew rapidly in Sumu's hand, and turned into a shadow at this moment. Knife after knife slashed at the besieged mutant Zongzi, continuously. Sumu's offensive was like an engine, constantly forcing them. Little by little, he retreated towards the cliff. The mutated Zongzi was angry, but there was nothing he could do about it. Drink. Finally, Sumu directly swept horizontally, integrating the principle of Coaxing's kicking into the sword's power. Click. 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 4 bones were broken in succession. Sumu's sword cut off the heads of the 4 rice dumplings, and they fell into the abyss of the ghost cave under the cliff. The power of the sword, which was integrated into the essence of Coaxing's kicking fight, actually it was so terrifying. Sumu was stunned when he saw it. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 58. Seeing that he had swept all 4 mutant rice dumplings down the cliff with just one blow, Sumu couldn't help but be speechless. The power of this Coaxing's kick is far beyond my imagination. Sumu was also happy. At this time, the system prompt sounded again. Ding, I found that the mutant rice dumplings dropped attribute points. Do you want to pick them up automatically? Sumu's eyes lit up. On the edge of the cliff, where the 4 rice dumplings had just fallen, there were 4 attribute light groups, shining brightly. Without hesitation, Sumu immediately ordered. Pick up. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the mutant rice dumpling defense attribute add 10. Ding, Congratulations to the host for getting the mutant rice dumpling defense attribute add 10. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the mutant rice dumpling defense attribute add 10. 4 system prompts sounded in succession, followed by ding. Since the host's defense attribute has reached 1000 points and meets the conditions for fusion evolution, do you want to proceed? Yes, Sumu continued to order. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Iron Corpse body. A body of Iron Corpse? Sumu frowned, it sounded a bit weird. It seems that the levels of zombies from low to high are, Iron Corpse, Bronze Corpse, Silver Corpse, Gold Corpse. The higher the level, the more powerful the defense will be. Could it be based on this? Before he could think about it, Shirley Yang and others were already surrounding him. They stared at Sumu like a monster. Brother Su, you can do that. One person can deal with 4. How did you do it? Yeah. Especially when you chop off 4 heads with one move, you don't have to be awesome. Sumu smiled lightly and said nothing. Father Yang looked at him with interest and said, Xiao Su, you are completely a different person after marriage than before you got married. Did you take some strong medicine? Father Yang has been living abroad for a long time, and even his speech is more lively and open. Everyone laughed. Sumu was fine, but Shirley Yang was a little embarrassed, and she glared at her old man fiercely. Dad! Dad, what are you talking about? Father Yang shook his head and said, No, I am telling the truth. I have watched Xiao Su since I was a child, and this is the first time I have seen him so fierce. Sumu didn't know what to say at this moment. You can't say that he came through time, right? At this time, Professor Chen spoke. He patted Father Yang on the shoulder. Lao Yang, don't think about it. You treat them like treasures and don't let them go to the grave. You don't give them any chance. How can you let Xiao Su behave? That is. I feel like Brother Su was born to eat a bowl of rice. The fat man interjected. I understand now. Brother Su is just a guy who pretends to be a pig and eats the tiger. What a novice tomb robber. Not only does he know more than me, a veteran who has been tomb for several years, but his skills are even better than the fat man's. One of the most awesome people I've ever met. And Sister Shirley too. Super calm and smart, Ding Sishan added with admiration. Yang's father looked at Sumu and Shirley Yang, and then glanced at the others. He suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is this co-authorship all the fault of my old man alone? Sumu chuckled. Okay, now is the time to talk about this. Queen Jingju is right in front. Shirley Yang urged. Shirley Yang said, let's keep walking. Indeed, the coffin of Queen Jingju is in front of them. In addition to saving Yang's father, the purpose of everyone's trip is to meet the legendary Queen Jingju. Thinking like this, the pace of everyone's feet quickened a little, and they even trotted. Get up. They were about to reach the coffin, within reach. However, in the next second, when everyone stepped forward, they felt a trance. Then, the scene around them changed. They opened their eyes, and surprisingly found that he had returned to his original position. How is this going? Am I dazzled by the fat man? The fat man touched his face, a little in disbelief. Hubei also looked in disbelief. He looked around and found that they had indeed returned to their original place. Holy shit! Could it be that a ghost hit the wall? Probably not, Sumu shook his head and denied. The reason why he was so sure was because the dragon tattoo on his back didn't react at all. However, what could it be if it wasn't a ghost hitting a wall? Could it be that this is our illusion? No, it should be said to be an illusion. This is what Corpse Fragrance Konjac has designed for us from the beginning, and we have entered the illusion from the beginning, Professor Chen said at this time. Shirley Yang shook her head and said, probably not, because when I fought with De Zongzi before, I could feel a little pain. How about I try it alone? Ding Sishan suddenly suggested, how about you just stay back and see if you can find anything fishy. This is a good idea. As soon as Hu Ba and others thought about the feasibility of this method, they agreed. Just as Ding Sishan took a step forward and was about to go over, Father Yang's voice suddenly sounded. No need to go, I know what this is. Ding Sishan stopped quickly and turned around to ask. What is it? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 59. This is the Baidu United formation. Everyone had doubts on their faces after hearing this. Sumu had never heard of this thing either. Ever since the Buddhist formation appeared just now, he had been prepared for some messy things to happen next. But fortunately, his father-in-law he does know a lot. Baidu United formation? What is that? Fat Wang asked. This formation is said to be a grand formation that has been handed down from ancient times, Father Yang said in a deep voice. Damn it, where did this Jingzhi Queen come from so many large formations? Forget about the Buddhist formation before, and now there is the Baidu United formation. Fat Wang was full of resentment. Then how to break this formation? Shirley Yang directly asked the key point. Father Yang thought for a while before speaking. This formation coincides with the 64 hexagrams, and only by finding the position of the hexagrams of Kinkan and Weivyu can it be deciphered. Everyone nodded in understanding. Sumu looked at his old father-in-law and became more and more pleased with him. Not only did he know the lost coaxing kickball, he even knew various ancient formations and how to break them. Sure enough, he is worthy of being the heir to move mountains. He sighed in his heart, but took a step forward, and Sumu said directly. Dad, why don't you tell me what to do and I'll break the formation? Father Yang shook his head, with a serious look on his face. No, this battle is more complicated, so I'll do it myself. With that said, without allowing anyone to object, he took a few steps forward and came to the southeast. Then he took 5 steps to the left, 2 steps back, and then took a big step back to the right. This went back and forth so many times that Sumu and others were almost dizzy. If it were anyone else, they might have been struggling for a long time. Everyone sighed in their hearts. Sure enough, Yang's father really had to take charge of this battle on his own. When Father Yang finally stood firm, suddenly, everything around him seemed to have quietly disappeared. Although no one can see it, everyone can feel it. But in Sumu's eyes, he saw that the space seemed to become gradually distorted for a while, and then disappeared without a trace. Maybe, this is the Baidu United formation mentioned before. Okay, this formation should be broken, let's go. After Yang's father finished speaking, he took the lead, followed by Shirley Yang. Everyone tried to move forward again. Sure enough, this time they came to Queen Jingzhi's coffin without any hindrance. They approached Queen Jingzhi's coffin at close range. The coffin is another look and feel. This coffin is made of pure gold, very luxurious and mysterious. What is even more surprising is that the entire coffin seems to be one piece, and there is not a single gap on the coffin. It is a miraculous workmanship. This, how to open it? Professor Chen was a little confused. Maybe there is some mechanism. Fatty Wang had an idea and started to touch around the golden coffin. The surface of the golden coffin was smooth, and it felt even colder and more comfortable. Suddenly, the fat man's hand seemed to scratch a protrusion, and the fat man was delighted. Found it? He subconsciously pressed his hand down, only to hear a burst of loudspeaker sound. Click. Everyone didn't have time to be happy. The next second, the entire floor around the coffin opened, and everyone fell in unexpectedly. Sumu cursed in his heart. He didn't follow the routine again. Obviously, the original work. The scene doesn't exist in the movie. I don't know what's next. How are you all doing? Sumyu stood up and observed other people around him with his night eyes. Ouch. He's fine, but his butt is almost rotten. A fat man is heavier, so his free fall will naturally be more severe. Where have we come? Ding Sishin's crisp voice sounded. With a click, everyone turned on the flashlights in their hands and explored the surroundings. The concentrated and dazzling white light of the wolf-eye flashlight penetrated the darkness in front of them and illuminated the front. Suddenly, there was a golden splendor. In front of everyone, there was a pile of treasures, full of gold coins, and various jade stones. This is the main tomb. Professor Chen glanced around, looked at the surrounding structures, and spoke with some uncertainty. Father Yang nodded and said, "Yes, this is the main tomb chamber. I thought Queen Jingja did not set up this structure, but she didn't expect her. He has also fallen into the secular world. This woman's tomb is filled with gold inside and outside the tomb. Who else is this if she's not a common person? More vulgar than me, a fat man." The fat man grabbed a handful of gold coins and put them into his backpack. While grabbing them, he did not forget to ridicule Queen Jingju. Hu Ba frowned. "Fat man, have you forgotten the treasure trap outside? Aren't you afraid that the gold coins are poisonous?" The fat man paused his hands, rolled his eyes, and looked at Sumyu. "Well, brother Su, what do you think?" Sumyu smiled and said, "It should be fine." When the fat man heard this, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. "That's right, it's not poisonous." As he said that, he grabbed a few more gold coins and put them back into his backpack, not forgetting to give a handful to Sumyu. Sumyu refused. The treasures in his Sumeru space have already piled up into a mountain. How could he like such an artless gold coin? Seeing that Fatty was really fine, Hu Ba and the others inevitably grabbed a few handfuls of gold coins and put them in their backpacks. Anyway, it's okay to leave it alone, it's better to give them an advantage. Father Yang shook his head in confusion. He didn't get involved. Firstly, he is not short of money, and secondly, the main purpose of his trip is for Muchin Bead. Before he found the whereabouts of Muchin Bead, how could he care about these yellow and white things? While others were collecting gold coins, Father Yang began to look at the surrounding environment of the tomb. What surprised him was that Queen Jingju's coffin, which seemed to have fallen just now, did not fall together. He subconsciously raised his head and suddenly narrowed his eyes. It turns out that the coffin of this exquisite queen is on top. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Tomb Raider, Mary Shirley Young at the beginning. Author, October is fierce and cute. Chapter 60. Yang's father inadvertently looked up and suddenly discovered that Queen Jingju's coffin was above everyone's heads. The position above the head is in the open air, and the golden coffin of Queen Jingju is suspended in mid-air by a large iron chain. "That's the Sci-fi glazed roof," Father Yang said in shock. Hu Ba and Wang Fatty, two guys who had robbed tombs, trembled when they heard this name. Where? Don't scare us." Then they looked up and saw the transparent glass surface above their heads, and their faces turned pale. His grandma's is really like a Sky-fire glazed roof. The Sky-fire glazed roof is also called the Dragon Fire glazed roof. A very thin layer of glazed tiles is laid on the ceiling of the tomb. There are bags of fire dragon oil from the western regions on the tiles, and then there is another layer of glazed tiles on top. This Sky-fire glazed roof looks very beautiful, but in fact it is the most deadly. As long as an external force enters, the roof will crack, and the fire dragon oil of the western regions will catch the air. By then, not only the tomb robbers, but also the funerary objects and the body of the tomb owner below will be burned. Damn it, this fine lady is really ruthless. Fat Wang spat fiercely. Now he was not in the mood to care about the gold coins in front of him. How to get out is the key. What should we do now? Professor Chen looked serious. Find the exit first, and then find a way to lift the coffin board of Queen Jingju and find the muchen bead. Shirley Yang quickly gave the best way. Su Mu opened his mouth. He really wanted to say that muchen bead is not here, but in the tomb of King Xian of Yunnan. But he must not say this. And even if he told it, no one would believe it. After thinking about it, Su Mu held it back again. At the moment, finding the exit is the first choice. So everyone started to take action, looking for mechanisms around the surrounding tombs. 7 people were there. It was naturally easy to find a mechanism in this medium-sized tomb. Soon, Shirley Yang made the discovery. You see, the stone bricks here seem to be hollow, Shirley Yang exclaimed. Everyone hurried over. Su Mu gently knocked on the wall tile pointed by Shirley Yang, and there was a muffled dong-dong sound. Sure enough, there was a mechanism. Su Mu turned around, seeing everyone looking at him at this time. Shirley Yang nodded and handed over an engineer's shovel. Without hesitation, Su Mu directly raised the engineer's shovel and smashed it down hard. Boom! With a loud noise, the tomb wall in front of everyone collapsed, splashing dust all over the ground. Ahem! When the dust dispersed, a new tomb was revealed in front of them. In front of everyone was a square stone room with only a dozen square meters. On the ground was a large, ancient stone box. This box was more than 1 meter high and 2 feet tall. It was so long that it stood out in the stone house. Suma quickly recalled everything about the ancient city in the original book in his mind. Soon he discovered that the stone house in front of them seemed to be exactly the same as the house where the prophet's body was hidden. If this is the case, then the exit is behind the stone box. But where are the 2 corpses? Just as Su Mu's thoughts were changing, others were also looking at the stone house in front of them. This is, coffin. Ding Sishan looked at the huge stone box in the middle of the stone house with some suspicion. Probably not. How could a coffin be so shabby? Fat Wan curled his lips. He had no interest in squatting after seeing that the material of this thing was just an ordinary stone. This is not necessarily true. Maybe the owner inside is a child, who Ba thought for a while and said this possibility. It's possible. After hearing this speculation, everyone nodded in agreement. Perhaps this is a large stone box. Seeing these people guessing for a long time, Su Mu couldn't help but say. Stone box? How can it be? Hubei seemed a little unconvinced. Su Mu smiled. If there is no deviation, the door of the stone box is at the back. Thinking like this, Su Mu spoke. If you don't believe it, Lao Hu, go around to the back of the box and see if there is a cabinet door. Real or fake? Hubei walked over half convinced. The next second he let out an exclamation. Holy shit! There really is. Brother Su, you are really amazing. Su Mu smiled slightly and spoke again. Lao Hu, look behind you. Are there 3 huge cracks extending downwards to the mountain? Holy shit! Brother Su, are you a clairvoyant? Did you guess it right again? Hubei's exaggerated cry sounded again from behind the stone box, tickling the hearts of everyone in front. They looked at Su Mu suspiciously and listened to Hubei's exaggerated cry. It looked like the 2 of them were colluding. Are you trying to fool them? Su Mu's expression remained unchanged and he continued to speak. Old Hu, could you reach out and explore the cracks again to see if you can feel the wind? After a few seconds, Hubei's exaggerated shouting sounded again. It's really windy. Brother Su, it's really windy. Ha ha. Now we can go out. True. This cliffhanger is a promise. How could Hubei have such an exaggerated tone in normal times? Do you think they are fools? When they thought of this, everyone suddenly became serious and stared at Su Mu. Say, Are you two colluding to tease us? Sumu couldn't laugh or cry. If you don't believe it, go see it yourself. Real. Seeing that Sumu didn't seem to be lying, everyone walked over doubtfully.